For more awesome content, head to ystech.org, link in the description.
The day has finally come. The RX 6500 XT has finally released. With this card brings a whole new era to hopefully cheaper cards. But is that true? Let's go ahead and see. So I made this video literally one day ago, so it's called the below $500 graphics card video. It's the 6500 XT versus the RTX 3050, just on pricing, availability, and things like that related to New Zealand. And basically what I said is, these are my predictions in this video, and what I said is, at MSRP of $199 USD, convert that to New Zealand, and add 150, you should have something around $442 New Zealand. So let's see if that's true later on, so there'll be parts of this video that you can skip to, but let's go ahead and see what the reviewers say about the 6500 XT, because I think that's better to go over than compared to the pricing at first. So it's not that great. So we'll head over to hardware unboxed first, and the RX 6500 XT is not looking that great of a card. The PCI 3.0 limitation on the 4x bandwidth seems to be an issue on some games that he's benchmarked here, and even from other reviewers are picking up slight performance dips compared to PCI 4.0. This card seems to be performing somewhere around an RX 580 or an RX 5500 XT from the last generation of AMD cards. So it's not that well priced, to be honest with you guys, especially in New Zealand. I'll show you the pricing soon. So it's not that great. It's pretty poor performance, to be honest with you, per dollar. But then again, it is a card below $500 New Zealand. So that's something to think about. But this is the 12-game benchmark that he did at 1080p, and you can see it ranks just about where the RX 570 is in some instances, or even worse than it. So sometimes it doesn't even reach the RX 580's level, although it should be at that price. So that's a significant performance dip compared to what it should have been, especially at this price range. It should be having a lot more performance, considering that you could have bought an RX 580 in like 2019 for around $250 New Zealand, and even last year or the year before last in 2020. In the middle of the year, you could buy an RX 580 for around $350 brand new. So yeah, it's a little bit concerning that the performance is pretty lacking. You can search in their benchmarks as well, and things like Doom Eternal on PCI 3.0, it's done pretty poorly. An example as well, Horizon Zero Dawn, just at the PCIe 3.0, just around an RX 580, just above a 570. So not that great. In some instances, it's quite disturbing how it's giving RX 570 price performance compared to what it should be. Yeah, it's just not a good look for this card at all. If you go into other guys as well, like Gamers Nexus, you can take a look at their benchmarks. Horizon Zero Dawn again, something above a 1060 in their instance. Yeah, not that great of a card, below a 980 Ti. So secondhand market still got plenty of options. I was pretty wrong in saying that it would probably destroy the secondhand market, but what we can say now for sure is that secondhand market is still perfectly viable, considering the performance that you're getting for this card. So it isn't that great. You can see other parts as well, and he's given some PCIe 3.0 versus 4.0 benchmarks, and you can see the different games here. So Red Dead Redemption 2, Horizon Zero Dawn, GTA 5, and many other games. You can see that it on 4.0 it does perform pretty well compared to PCIe 3.0. Like, it's slightly better in some instances, but yeah, that's still an issue, and they shouldn't have done that. Let's head over to Hardware Canucks as well. We can see the comparison. In some instances, and a lot of them on average, PCIe 4.0 was better than 3.0, but it's just between reviewers. Like, the general consensus is that they seriously shouldn't have done this in terms of performance that you're getting per dollar. And especially in New Zealand, where the budget market is seriously lacking, and I wouldn't even call it budget, because $600 and above New Zealand is a lot for a graphics card, and as well wages and income in New Zealand hasn't really kept up with these type of pricing, especially for computing components. This is out of a lot of people's price range already, above $600 cards, and this one that fills the gap below isn't even gonna fulfill you in terms of the performance you're getting on your computer. So nothing great from there, and you can see Linus Tech Tips also put one out, which is great. Bandwidth limitation, you can see on CSGO, still again not performing like it should be for the price per dollar, especially compared to like something like the 580 that they've referenced down here in the esports title. It's very similar in performance. That's not good at all, to be honest with you guys, especially that the RX 580 is somewhat like over 4 years old now. So yeah, I mean, RX 580 is a phenomenal of a card. Like, it's a phenomenal card. It's very well performing for what you could have bought it at, but at the same time, it should not be like re-released, basically, to a certain extent, and even in some instances even worse than the 580 itself. So there's that. So where does that lead us in New Zealand? Let's check out Computer Lounge here. So Computer Lounge has got a lot of them on back order, and they've got them for minimum $449. What do we say that compared to my price prediction? That's pretty damn close. I said 150 above, and that's one of the cheapest ones you could get from Computer Lounge, $449. I think that's pretty bang on from me on that prediction there. I don't know. They've only got a few cards here. Definitely have to say, if you're going to buy this card, don't spend anything more than maybe $450 for it. I know that's a lot, especially for the performance you're getting isn't that great. At the same time, $450 card. For example, the 980 Ti apparently performs a lot better than it, and I bought a 980 Ti for about $350, so I don't know. It was secondhand. I did have to like do a few updates on it and stuff, but at the same time, it did perform better than this card that just got released today, so that's saying a lot. And an RX 580, you could still grab them for around $550 New Zealand, the secondhand market. So at the moment, secondhand market is not going to be wiped out just yet until pricing comes down on these cards. Availability isn't that great at the moment for some reason in New Zealand. I don't know, maybe they didn't allocate more cards here. It would have made more sense for them to allocate more cards to New Zealand, considering that people's incomes are actually a little bit lower here. So I don't know, and buying power is not that great here either, especially with computer components. Check out PB Tech here. One of their cheapest one is $348. That's very, very good. That's actually very comparable to the MSRP, if not too badly priced. $348 compared to the $199. So $293. That's not too bad. That's like something like $60 over the MSRP. These are the lower end cards technically, but I mean, at the same time, if you guys can grab them for this price, that's more than enough. That's pretty good. That's actually not too bad a price, considering the performance it's offering. Just keep in mind, this is more of an esports title card, I would say. Like, to a certain extent, you're not going to be playing those AAA titles. Definitely something more like an esports title, but yeah, I mean, it's a great option for brand new stuff if you can get it at the right price. Just do keep in mind, a lot of these cards, as even with Computer Lounge, they're on back order, so you won't be able to get it today at these prices. Some of them are going to only come in March 21st, so that's a while to wait. You're basically placing a pre-order. On the other ones, for example, the one from Gigabyte, $499, you can get one today, and same with the Asus ones, you can get them today as far as I know. Some of them are click and collect on the 26th, so some of them they're probably just doing a small pre-order, or you can ship them in later on from wherever their distribution center is. But you know, it's just disappointing that this card's release was so poor. I think Hardware Unbox put it the best on his final thoughts. I kind of relaying what he said, but he basically said, you know, you can't sacrifice VRAM and PCIe bandwidth. If you do both, it will become a disaster, as this card has become a literal, you could say, disaster. It's not performing as it should for this price range. You're overpaying, and you don't get what you should be getting for the price. It's just something that really hurts consumers at the end of the day, and it's not something that's beneficial for anyone. It's just something like a little like bone to give us, basically. Like, oh, here you go, you guys wanted a cheaper card, here you go. It's like a little throwaway. It's not that great value for money, and even I'd say the secondhand market in some instances is still better. And if you can snag a deal on even other cards like the 1660 Super for under 550, it'd probably be better than this card. So, that's something to consider. It's just very disappointing overall that this card was so poor. Again, bandwidth limitation and VRAM limitation. This card is gonna struggle. It really is. I think it's specifically made only for esports titles and for people who are just saving money and just want to spend it. If I were you guys, my best advice would be to go secondhand. Again, the 980 Ti is really good. It's a great card. If you guys are willing to just do a little TLC on it, it'd be more than enough to try and fix it up. And even the 1070s. I mean, the 1070s you can still get for under 600. 1070, I probably wouldn't go for secondhand now. If you guys wanted to buy something like above $600 in New Zealand, I'd probably say wait for a deal on the 6600s or the 6600 XTs, or even wait. The best piece of advice, probably wait for the 3050 Ti, because considering the price that this is released at, in the video I'd say the other card was going to release for the 3050. It's going to release, let me get it here, for about $515 New Zealand. So I'd probably say that's actually relatively accurate, although in the video I did say the RTX 3050 should go for around maybe above 550, so it should fill the gap between $550 to $700. So if you guys are willing to spend a wee bit more time, then that'd probably be the card I'd go for, considering that the performance you're getting on the 6500 XT is just not that great. They've said in the past, like, oh, the 6600 and the 6600 XT, a little bit disappointing. But seriously, this time, it's actually pretty bad. Like, the 6500 XT is actually a letdown, a significant letdown. And especially that I know a lot of you guys were saving for a while, and this is the price range that you have to pay. It's just not that great a deal. It's really disappointing in my opinion. And there's just really no way to justify this type of performance at these prices. It's just really sad. So again, secondhand market's probably the way to go still. If you can grab a deal on other cards like the 1660 Super or the 1660, then go for it. But this card just fails to meet and fill the gap that's been missing in New Zealand for so long. It's just really disappointing to see that. Although, I mean, one thing you do have to consider is, where is it? Here, if you're looking at something like a 1050 Ti, it still performs worse in some instances. But at the same time, if the only option you have is a 1650 and a 1050 Ti, at the same price range in New Zealand, because I do know the 1050 Ti and the 1650 are in that pricing bracket from about $300 to $500 New Zealand at the moment. The 6500 XT might actually not be that bad, considering that it performs the same, if not worse in some instances, because the 1650 Supers in New Zealand are usually above 500, and the normal 1650s, this one here, are around the same price. So I guess it's a newer card, and if you can get a 4.0 motherboard, you should be fine. Just do keep in mind the PCI 3.0 limitations, and make sure you go and watch these reviewers. I mean, Linus Tech Tips, Hardware Canucks, Gamers Nexus, and Hardware Unboxed are some great reviewers to watch. I just wanted to relay that information over to you guys, if you guys click on my channel from wherever often. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a disappointing release overall. So, I mean, that about sums up the video. Thank you guys very much for watching. Make sure you can check out ystech.org for the latest posts, reviews, and much more. I'll see you guys there at ystech.org. But other than that, hope you guys have an awesome day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.